This video is brought to you by PremiumBeat.com. In this fun After Effects tutorial, we're going to create a scene with bouncing particles. Hey, what's going on internet? This is Josh Noel from SonduckFilm and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. So this is a really cool tutorial because we're going to take a deep look into using CC Particle World inside of After Effects, which is the most popular particle effect built into After Effects. There's a lot you can do with Particle World, but I really wanted to take a look at the bouncing capabilities of the effect. So before we jump into our tutorial, I want to say thank you to PremiumBeat for sponsoring this video. PremiumBeat is a royalty-free music provider for your creative video and motion graphic projects. They have an extremely popular library with thousands of songs to choose from, and they have a very easy in-depth search and menu filter system that allows you to quickly find the best songs for your video. So for your next video project, be sure to check out PremiumBeat.com for your royalty-free music. So here we are in After Effects, and let's get started. So we'll go up to Layer, New, Solid, and we'll call it Particles. Then we'll go to Effect, Simulation, and we'll grab Particle World. So now we have our particles in here, and let's take a look here. So you can see that there's actually a floor already built into here, like a grid, and we can see what's happening, but the particles are going through the floor. So what we want to do is go to the Physics tab, and there's a floor menu right here, and we can set the floor action from none to bounce. Now the particles will bounce off of that floor. However, to our eyes, it doesn't look like it's going to be bouncing at all. It's just particles dancing around. We can see that we can bring up the floor position and we see where the bouncing is going to take place at. So we'll start adjusting some of these settings real quick. So let's go to the particle and set this to just faded sphere. And, maybe that's frame 12. We'll add a keyframe for our birth rate and we'll move forward by 1 frame and bring it down to 0. So our particles will come on and you can see that it bounces off the floor a little bit, but we still have a lot of adjustments to do. So one thing I'll do is maybe bring down the rough size and the depth size by a little bit. And we'll come here to the first keyframe and we'll actually increase the birth rate. And we can also increase the longevity up to maybe 12. This way, the particles will stay on after they hit the ground. And boom. Now we can start seeing that there's particles on the floor and we can have these bounce particles. We can change the color. I'll do like a red. And I'll increase the max opacity to 100% and also increase the size variation to 100%. Then I'll close up the particle tab. We'll go into the producer and we can increase the radius Z by maybe to 1. So it gives us a little bit more depth. And then let's go back into our physics and maybe we can increase the bounciness of our particles. So it'll continue to bounce after the initial generation, and you can just take a look at that. You can also increase the random bounce and also the spread. Cool. And what's cool about this, if you go back to particle, we can change the type obviously from a faded sphere to even a line. You might need to decrease the birth rate, but we can start to see the bounciness of everything. So one thing that we can do to really make these particles stand out even more is to create our own floor, because right now they're just coming in and we don't see any floor. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we want to do is find some sort of texture online. So I have this texture right here. I'll link this in the description of the video, but we just need some random nice floory type texture, and I'll bring this into our composition and I will put it right underneath everything here. And what we'll do here is toggle switch the modes until we can make it a 3D layer right here, and we'll hit R on our keyboard for rotation. And for the X rotation, let's set this to 90 degrees. And let's hit P on our keyboard for position, and we can bring down the Y position here so we can see what we're doing. Then let's come here to Effect, Color Correction, and let's add curves to this, and let's brighten this up by a little bit. And then let's come here to Layer, Pre-Compose, and we'll call this Floor. Move all attributes into New Comp, and click OK. Then we'll turn this layer off, and we'll go up to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer, and we can rename this to Blur. And then let's go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, and let's add Compound Blur. And where it says blur layer, let's set this to floor. Now everything that's touching the floor layer is going to be blurred out and create a nice glow effect to it. And before we move further here, let's go back to our particles layer. Let's go to Effect, Stylize, and let's add a glow effect to it. And this will just make it punched out a little bit more. And that looks nice. So maybe we'll put the radius to like 40. And of course we increase the intensity maybe to 2. And if you want, we can duplicate it one more time. Just make it really punched out there. And this time I'll increase the radius to like 170. Nice. Now what we want to do here is grab our particles and any other elements like our title, and we will duplicate these and bring it above our adjustment layer. So now it will stand out, and then we go back into particles. Maybe we'll just turn off the second glow, and now you'll be able to see your particles and it'll bounce right on the floor. And then we take, say for example, our title that's down here, and we could just put it underneath here, and nice, now you get a little bit glow effect from our title. So now we've been able to create particles and bounce them off of a reflective floor that blends in very nicely together for this technique. If you want to learn more about how you can implement this bounce particle technique to more practical applications, you can check the links in the description. We've actually created a Skillshare course about a year ago where we were able to create this, spark animation off of our neon sign that bounced off of the floor. And if you use our Skillshare links that are in the video description, you'll get 2 free months of Skillshare where you can try it and watch our tutorials. So now you should have a new way to use Particle World inside of After Effects. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we post multiple post-production tutorials every single week. You can also hit me up on my social media networks. Those links are in the video description. And always, be creative.